you come on, go ahead, guys, like and share for me, like and share. If you are new, my name is Dr. K, and I am the founder of Freedom by Design, and you are a part of the movement. I bet you didn't even know it, but you are. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Christy. Hey, Lynn. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, ladies, for being on, and gentlemen. Thank you for the love. I see it, I see it, I see it. So this morning, we are following up on last Wednesday. It was so amazing. We didn't even get to touch the surface. So we said, you know what? We needed to come back and finish that thing up. So that's what we're doing this morning. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Charlie. Good morning, Tish. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Tyson. Go ahead, like and share. So for those of you who are new, Freedom by Design goes live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 in the morning. Yes, 7:30 to get us rolling. But our jump start actually starts at 6 in the morning. We start with the God Zone. So I know that the God Zone founders are going to be on, and they're going to drop the information for us in the chat. So you can see, like, how are they up at 7:30 in the morning, fired up, excited, and they're sitting at home. Yeah, we're at home. It don't look like it, but we're at home. So yes, we're excited. We're fired up because we start our morning with the God Zone from 6 to 7. It is praise, worship. It's an authentic experience. And then we just follow that thing up. I see Avril. Avril, go ahead and drop the God Zone information for us because we need them to know how are they so fired up. They're on fire and rolling. So this morning, I have the pleasure, and I'm jumping quick into it, of introducing or bringing back, because I shouldn't be introducing because she's a part of Freedom by Design, a critical part of Freedom by Design, my sister, and that is none other than Miss Bernadette Clark-Wright. Bern, you there?
I am here taking myself off. Good morning, sis. How are you today?
Good morning, good morning. You know, I made that fatal error this morning on the God Zone. I was just talking.
Right.
So it happens. Good morning. I see a lot of people tuning in, Bern, but I want to make sure that we spend as much time as possible because last week we went over and we didn't get to really go deep into the follow me. We touched the service and people are all excited, but we need to kind of dig deeper. And for those of you who are tuning in and you're like, follow me, not follow us. It's not us, not our will, his will. So Bern, get us started this morning. Let's go.
It's so funny that we talked about last week how we needed to jump into part 2 of this message. And then, the God Zone, of course, is a critical part of me and you both, and a lot of people on this call, how we start our morning. And Santrell had the nerve, the audacity to get on there talking about jump. And when she was saying jump, she was saying jump with your anchor. But that jump with your anchor thing went right back to follow me. And so it doesn't really matter what the crowd is doing. You have to be willing to follow me. But as we were talking about this last night, the conversation just continued. Last week, the conversation continued to evolve. And there's a critical part. When God told him to follow me, what people don't really pay attention to, which resonated with me, was the question became, follow me where? And the scripture says, he went back to his house. So if the Lord were to say, follow me, and then it was follow me where? Oh, we're going back to your house. Would you be prepared to allow him in that instant? Or would it be one of those situations that Martin talked about where you're like, I'm gonna need you to stand outside for a minute, Lord, because I got some stuff inside here, that I need to clean up real quick. You got to sweep and all that other stuff. And it really started us on this conversation about the fact that when Jesus says, follow me, he's not waiting for you to be perfect for him to come over. He just wants an invitation to invite you to come into your house. What is your house? Your heart, your mind, your soul. Let him have authority and reign over that and check those things out and help you clean it up. So I think about sometimes when our friends come over, like if they down the street, like you in a panic because you might have had an art project all over the place, with your kids and stuff like that. And you're like, you can't come over here because my mama did not raise me like that. I got to get this stuff clean. You have some people who come into your house, they looking at your baseboards, they in the bathroom, looking in the cabinets and stuff, and they're looking for something to be wrong. We already know that every single day there's something in us that needs to be fixed. There's something in us that the world don't see, but that God can see. So when he says, follow me, he's coming back to your house are you really prepared to let him in? Or is he gonna have to stay outside for a minute and wait? You know, kind of like we do getting married. Oh, I can't get married until I get a job, until I get a 401k, until I get a perfect house, until I get a perfect this. That's not the kind of God that we serve. So Katrina, what do you have to say about that?
Whew, that thing right there hit me on so many levels because, you know, I always tell people when they come over, they're like, well, do you mind? Well, you come over here anytime because we live in a way that it doesn't matter. But it wasn't always that way. And I thought about it from when growing up, and I'm like, oh my God, when somebody said that they were coming over, it was almost like you went into a cold sweat. So just thinking of following Christ, and you know, I'm like, okay, Lord, you saving me. I'm washed in the blood, cleansed. I'm ready to go. And he says, okay, follow me. And I'm like, okay, Lord, where we going? We going to lay hands? We going to anoint some people? Where are you sending me? You sending me on a mission trip? And he like, no, we going back to your house. Like, freeze. No, I needed to get away from there. They not ready yet. I don't want to go back to my house. That looks different because I can go out and talk to other people, but I got to go back to my house. I got to look within me. That requires self-reflection. That requires me owning that I am not, you know, where I want to be. And I'm like, Lord, that's why I'm coming to you so you can, you know, fix me, help me. And this morning when Centrell started talking, you know, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to be quiet. I'm just going to listen this morning. I'm like, she started walking all over my feet. And I'm like, Lord, I can't even be quiet because she is in my house. When she starts to talk about the fact that Jesus wants us to jump, essentially follow me, but don't just jump arbitrarily, not randomly, jump with your anchor, which is him. So when he's called us to write the book, to start the business, to start the ministry, to do this new thing, to go ahead and get married, to do all of these different things that we're supposed to do, we don't have to worry about doing it alone. And that was my thought process because, you know, I always have to tell on myself when I was looking at the Facing Forgiveness series, and I'm like, okay, Lord, you want me to do it on YouTube? I can do it on Facebook and we'll be fine. And he was like, no, you have to switch. And I'm like, okay, but what if nobody shows up? And again, he had to spank me and say, I keep telling you, I exposed you. I'm with you always. I am your anchor. I'm your rock. You don't ever have to worry about being by yourself. You don't have to worry about fixing it or cleaning it up or making it pretty. I know everything inside of you, inside and out, before you were born, thought of. I already know. It's nothing I can do myself to fix myself for him. I was already born into sin. He already knows what it is. He just wants me to be obedient and to see my heart. That is what's in me. Vern?
That is so good. And, you know, as you're talking about this concept of jumping, you have to be willing to do it alone. Like you literally have to be willing to do it alone. And a lot of the times, you know, and Central talks about this, sometimes you got to dine alone and you got to just be willing to have that conversation with him, right? And so follow me. Who are you following? We even talked about this last week on social media and stuff like that. Like, are you really following him? And following him means not just being like him and doing like him. It means allowing him inside, because when he said, follow me, I'm coming home with you. So I want to dig deeper into that because, you know, this whole story kind of started with us being in Hawaii. And we were with Tomas and Roseanne Moreno, two of my very close friends. And we're all walking around this parking lot looking for the car. We're completely lost, right? And then Tomas says, follow me. And we all crack up laughing and we follow him. And I'm sitting there going, why did we follow Tomas? Like, none of us knew where he was going to take us, right? But we were already lost anyway. And all we knew was that if he knew where to go and he could find the car, where was the car going to take us? It was going to take us back home. And so when God says, follow me, he's going to come to your home, but he's also going to take you back home to the person that he originally created you to be. And that's what it's about. So the second part of that was, what do you think that Jesus found when he went to his house? Who was hanging out there, right? So you're with Matthew, who's a tax collector. He's hated by the people. And of course, the onlookers were like, oh my God, look at Jesus. He's going over there. He's hanging out with the sinners. What is he doing over there? Those people, they're not righteous.
Absolutely.
Cut that out. And the reason I say cut that out is because you still got to welcome him in. You can't be effective in the kingdom if you're so busy worrying about, oh, I can only hang around with the saints. They don't need to hear the Bible. They probably know it back and forth. They do need to hear it, but they probably know it back and forth. And when are you going to start spending some time with some people who need to see the God in you? Who need to hear the word come through you, who need to look at you and say, where does that light come from? Who need to have a different perspective than the dude down the block that they've been getting all their life. A lot of the times it's about exposure. Amen. And so because he allowed him into his house, Jesus was exposed to all these people who were able to be impacted by Jesus. So it's okay. It doesn't matter who you hang with. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you did last night. Welcome him into your home. Let him follow you back there and to kind of resonate with you and point those things out and to sit and to fellowship with you, because he's going to meet you right where you are. He's going to meet you right where you are. It's not like the world. He loved us first, Katrina. That was a big deal for me. I was like, he loved us first. He loved us in spite of our messiness. He loved us in spite of anything, our past. He loved us in spite of anything we might have done wrong. Even in those seasons where we were angry with God. Because there are a lot of people who you've been through seasons where you were angry with him because of a loss that you experienced, or you're angry with him because you didn't get what you asked for, and because you're looking around and you see everybody is doing so well, everybody's doing this, when is it going to be my turn? And you might have even lost a little faith in that moment, but God still loved you and he still knew what was best for you. And you still at the end of the day look back and say, God, I see what you're doing now. It's like with our parents. Katrina, how many times have your parents, when you were young, they told you no, or they did something that, you know, was completely contrary to what you thought they should have been doing, right? I mean, I get this all the time. Well, I used to get it all the time, not anymore, but such and such as parents do this. Such and such as parents gave them this. Such and such as parents, and it's always looking at the Joneses. But as a parent, we have to do what's best, not what's easiest. Our Father in heaven is our parent, and he's going to teach us what's best, and it's not always going to be what's easiest. But if we trust him, then we're going to follow him. Katrina?
Yes, as you were saying that, I'm looking and I'm right here in Matthew with you as you kind of paraphrase it. For those of you who are like, what's she talking? Matthew 9:12. And, you know, it's so interesting when Jesus says, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, it's the sick. So again, if you're sitting around all of these saints and y'all just congregating and, you know, sitting high and looking low, that's not what Jesus entails for us. That's not what he wants. He wants us to understand that he desires mercy, not sacrifice. He came for who? All of us. He's looking for the sinners. He's coming for our heart. You know, Bern, it makes me look at when you talked about other parents don't do this and, you know, their parents don't do that. And I've been through that on the receiving end and on the giving end. So as a child and as a mother getting, and, you know, I used to tell my son, everybody ain't going where you going. Everybody, that's not everybody's walk. So you got to understand. But I look at our picture here behind me and I thought about it when you first looked, you're like, you're walking and I'm waiting. We're on the same beach.
Right.
I'm walking and you're waiting. Same beach, same skyline. You know, the sun is rising. We were both right there together in the same moment, but he's going to meet us where we are. Some of us are going to have to walk. Some of us are going to be in a waiting season. We can't stand on the outside looking in saying, why don't I have what this person has? Because your level of anointing, your gifts, all of that stuff is going to come at an appointed time and season in your life. When you're following him, when he knows that you're ready for it, he'll give you a little bit more. So even when he says, follow us, and sometimes we don't feel like we're equipped, God is never going to ask us to do anything that he has not already given us the ability to handle. We can do it in our minds. We feel like we can't, you know, on the exterior, it's like, how am I going to do this? Like, what is this thing going to look like? People going to talk about me. They're going to judge me. It does not matter because you're not doing it by yourself. You're not moving alone. And every time I look at the picture, I'm just like walking and waiting. Same beach, same place, same space. We're walking this close to each other in some points, but we're walking and some of us are waiting, and we have to just accept where we are and get to a point that we can stop worrying about the likes and the followers and the who and the how and how did they do it and what are they getting? Because I don't want Bernadette's blessing. I don't want it because it's not for me, but I want to pray for her. I want to lift her up. I want to do everything I can to support her, to be her biggest cheerleader while I'm being obedient to what God has asked me to do for myself. And I think that thing just kind of hit me. I know I went off on a tangent, but it was just something about that walking and waiting.
That resonated with me because I keep looking at those pictures and I had a visualization of kind of like, I used to run track, and I can imagine we're all in the block and the gun goes off and everybody starts running, but the Lord tells you to wait. The anxiety, you can feel it because you're looking up, because you're like, but it's a race. I want to win. But the Lord is telling you to wait because that's their race and that's their appointed time and that's their hurdle to jump, because they're not going where you're going. And they're at the intersection of whatever it is God has for them if they moved when he told them to move. So when he tells you to wait, you only can look up, because if you're looking at the people in front of you, it'll make you feel like you've been left behind. So if you're looking up and you're waiting on that direction from him, it's okay that you're still in the block. I'm talking to somebody. It is okay that everyone else is running. It's okay that everyone else appears to be winning. Wait, because there's someone who's appointed to you. There's someone who's assigned to you that's going to help propel you to that next level. And if you move too soon, you might miss it because that person isn't there yet. That person isn't ready yet, right? That promise, it's not time for it to be produced. So if you're in that waiting season, but you decide I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna move when you tell me to move and I'm gonna jump when you tell me to jump, you'll know, you'll be like, God, boom. And then everything happens the way God ordered it to happen, not because man shot the gun and said it was time for you to go. Oh, you're this age, you should be here by now. You know, you're already 22, you should be a millionaire. That's the Instagram life, right? But here we are, really a lot of us just now coming into our own because we did what the world told us to do. We got all the degrees, we got all the career, we got all the statutes, we got all the awards that are sitting in a box now in the corner somewhere, but you still not where God told you to be. So wait on him and follow him, because he gonna get you where he wants you to go. He gonna get you where he wants you to go, but you gonna wait 20 years to do that? Or are you gonna take the route where he says, follow me? And sometimes you need to wait on him because he's got some things lined up for you. Don't take the scenic route.
Oh, I love it. Not the scenic route. Come on now. You know, I was sitting here thinking about the approvals, and for some reason that word keeps coming into my mind, because we want to follow God when people give us the approval, when they give us the like, when they say, oh, you're doing good, you know, get that pat on the back. But I think about people in the Bible who were following Jesus and you know, they were excited about it, but they were more concerned about the fame that they were going to get as a result of the following. So it inhibited them from being able to develop a true relationship. So imagine how many people were not mentioned. Imagine how many people fell off. And some of us, that's us. We're waiting on people to give us the approval. We're waiting on, oh, this person, because they're saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Spirit. And when they call my name, I know that I have arrived. No, it's him. Follow me, not them. You know, we have to make sure that we are not looking for people to recognize us. It's just, you said something when you talked about how many trophies and awards. And I think about in my garage right now, it's a box of trophies that they're old and, you know, broken. And I'm like, in those moments, oh my God, it was like everything in the world, but it's in a box. Who even remembers? Somebody has to put your name on the list and say, in 2000 and such, this person got that. Because who remembers? Nobody remembers. God isn't giving you any extra points. It's not like, okay, you got 20 points because you got this award. You got 30 points. He don't care about none of that. How many people have you brought to the kingdom? How many people have you been able to share? How many authentic experiences have you had with individuals where they can see him through you, see his true light? How many times have you just been transparent and you're able to say, you know what, I'm broken and this is what I did, this is how I did. You know, we dress that thing up real good, Bern. We can make it look like a certain thing, but come on now. You know, I want to make sure that it's not people's approval that's motivating my feet to move or me to act or do, or even my decisions. I want to make sure that everything comes from me following him. I'm not looking at anybody else to say, great job, you did that. It's great that it resonates with you, but this experience, even this conversation, you and I are having this conversation, but I get excited when he is talking to me and I feel him on the inside, and it makes me get more and more excited. And I'm like, yes, Lord, yes, come through. I'm excited. It's not about the comments and the likes at all.
Amen. Amen. You know, it's so funny. You were sitting there talking, and what came in my spirit was, what are you willing to lose? Because sometimes following him, it could cost you something. And so I'm gonna let that sit right there. What are you willing to lose to follow him? Because some stuff's gonna fall off. What are you willing to lose?
Quite a bit. And
because you'll gain the world.
Hey, we're gonna put a pin in that thing right there. I can, as I just sit back and lean and look up, I know over the past 5 years, I can even say over the past year, I have lost some things that, had you told me a year ago, some things and some people that they wouldn't be a part of my daily life, they wouldn't be a part of my inner circle, I would have told you that you were crazy. But I'm gonna go on a tangent here, then I'm gonna bring us back. The funny thing about it is, you know, I was reading about a week or so ago, and what I read, I think it was Bishop Jakes, and he talked about the fact that, you know, God does bring people into our lives. There's no accident. There's no mistake about that. But some people we bring in, we allow, he gonna bring them in through the front door. We didn't let a fool sneak in through the back door or through the window or whatever the case may be. And then we're wondering why we're experiencing so much turmoil. We're wondering why. And God is like, that's not the route I told you to take. And he might allow that situation to sit for a moment, but in us following him, everybody can't go. Everybody isn't going to go. And sometimes it will feel so lonely. But again, I think about us walking on that beach, and I think about those footprints. Those footprints were there. We were not by ourselves. Those footprints were in the sand. So we have to be careful and mindful of who we try to pull along for the ride and who he plants for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and be okay. Because I can think about some hardships. I can think about some things that, you know, I'm like, dog, what happened to them? Some people were never meant to be there. And we're seeking their approval, and we're leaning on them. And God is like, you made them an idol when they were not even supposed to have a seat. They weren't even supposed to be in the audience, but you made them an idol in your life. It has to shift, move. And it's like, dog, they hurt me. No, you hurt you because you pulled that mess in. I didn't ordain that. You did it. So permissively, I'm going to let it come. But in my perfect will, they got to go. Vern, I'm going to let you close us out this morning.
You know, I think you just did. So, I mean, I think you just did. That thing was so powerful, because I'm sitting here going, I was like, there are fools in high places. And I'm going to say that for the people in the back. Y'all already know that. So just because they have the position, and just because they seem to walk in authority, and just because they have the notoriety, doesn't mean that they were assigned to you in this season or any other season. It just makes it easier, because at the end of the day, we have to trust our relationship with him. Not trusting this person just because you feel like, oh, they speak in tongues. Oh, I saw them cast out a demon. Oh, I know that they can prophesy. Oh, I know that they've made it to the top of the ladder. Oh, I know they're an expert in their field. There is none beyond him. None. That does not mean that person is assigned to you. What it means is it's the person, the like box, and you're checking these things off a checklist of the things that you admire, instead of saying, okay, that's great, good and fine, but God, I need to listen to you. I need to hear a word from you. So we can't continue to follow in the natural. We have to start following in the spirit and say, but Lord, what do you have for me to do? Lord, who do you want me to be within this season? Because sometimes we allow those things and it's hard, because this is what we grew up with. This is what the world teaches us. And then you think this person came in because they know more than you do. No, they don't. There are people who can teach you some stuff in the natural, but in the spiritual, I need you to remember that your relationship with God is you and God. And you got to learn to trust him. And you got to learn to lean on him. And you got to learn to move when he says move, which is what follow me is all about. It's about that relationship with him, and notwithstanding what any other voice is saying, follow him. Thank you so much for Katrina for allowing me back on this platform just to kind of finish up our message on following me. I got to give a shout out to say thank you, Centrell, for just kind of, I don't know, coming all up in my house, getting up in my business this morning. You know, you was in Katrina's house too. I don't know how you were in two places at one time, but it happened. So thank you so much for that message too about, you know, us being able to jump, you know, but jump with your anchor because our anchor is in him. Back to you, Katrina. Again, God bless you. God keep you. We love you. We thank you for your obedience. We thank you for your spirit. We thank you for the fact that you take time every single day to bow down and go before the throne and ask the Lord, not what I want to say, God, but what you want to say. So I ask the Lord to bless you in this season and that he continue to use you because I see the light shining through you. I know that lives are being changed and they're being impacted, not only by this book, Katrina, because this book is a key and it's going to open so many doors because you're giving people permission in this season to be who God called them to be, because we know that the journey was rough. We know that it was sometimes that you were scared, but you did it scared anyway. And because we watched you do it scared anyway, some of us will jump and some of us will say, I can do it now too. And it just gives us a little bit more confidence each and every day. So any saint that's out there listening, do what God told you to do because somebody's waiting on you to do it. Somebody's waiting for the invention. Somebody's waiting for the book. Somebody's waiting on the class central. Somebody's waiting on you to speak faith. Somebody's waiting on you to do what God told you to do, D, so that they can be brought to the other side. Be obedient. Katrina, God bless you for your obedience.
Thank you, my sister Vern. When is the next elevation evening? Because those are powerful messages and I want to make sure that nobody misses out.
So the next elevation evening is going to be this coming Monday. So just make sure you're following me at @WC Wright on Instagram. We'll post on there too. But also with Let's Get Personal with Latanya and Ray from Celebrity Media TV. And I do for a fact know what I'm talking about on Monday. And it's going to be a pretty bold conversation. So y'all tune in.
All right, y'all. I'm nervous now because that means us, y'all. So thank you so much, everyone, for being on. I saw that Rutho and Avril dropped the information for God Zone because that is, again, how we get our day started. And it is a ministry we're a part of. It is authentic engagement with Him, fellowshipping. We worship how we see fit. It is awesome. You get to engage, or if you want to just listen, you can listen. But I promise you, they come all up in your house, so it's hard to just listen. So coming up soon for myself, we have on October the 29th, God, Girls, and Gab 99 and 1 Ministries has invited me to be one of the panelists to speak. So I'm going to post that information. And it's limited space, so you want to make sure that you are on. I'm going to put the information. And also for my family in Miami, MIA, Dr. K is coming home the weekend of November the 7th. So yes, we are bringing Exposed to Miami. And we are excited about it, and we're going to do it Miami style. So, yes, we're coming. It's not going to be a whole bougie event. We about to come through like we come through. So, we're excited about that. And also, we have our second series on forgiveness next Saturday. So, I'll post that information, Facing Forgiveness. And that series, we're going to be talking about forgiving ourselves, which is a little different. Yeah, a little different. So guys, I love y'all. Have a fantastic day. You have all of our information and you can tune in on Freedom Friday too. I love y'all. God bless you and have a great day. Bye-bye.